Pilates services, and today I'm going to take you through a downward dog. This seems to be everyone's nemesis, and so I'm going to show you how to modify this and how to make it easier for yourself. Because often we see these pictures on Facebook or Instagram where people in this beautiful, perfect V, but they're super flexible people, and generally most people nowadays, without training, so if you're quite new to yoga or Pilates or whatever, the body needs to learn how to come into that posture. My downward dogs are still not what we would class as perfect, but I haven't got the longest hamstrings, and I doubt I ever will, because I'm not planning on putting all the effort into it, because I'm moving, I'm keeping fit, my body is strong. Do I really need to stretch my hamstrings to the point where, you know, I can put my head on my knees? It's very flattering, but my body, it just doesn't agree with my body, so that's not what I'm going to do. So the first part of the downward dog is to check what your fingers are doing. So we often have, move back here, people often have their hands in that position there, but think of, I always look down the mat and I have my index fingers running down to the end, the front of the mat. The other part you want to notice in your downward dog is this part of the hand. So your thumb and the ball of your index finger over there. That's where your weight is going to bear down in your downward dog. So have a look when you do your downward dogs. Do you tend to roll out on the hands, or are you sending your weight into the ball of, ball of your palm? So that's the first thing. So if I'm on all fours, I'm going to tuck my tailbone under, tuck my toes under, sorry, and I'm going to lift my bum up towards the ceiling. Then I'm going to start to draw my head towards my knees, but not by using my spine, my hips. I'm going to hinge the shoulders and the hips back so that my back is straight. So you can see my legs are bent. I'm doing that on purpose. You'll also notice I have a mirror next to me so that I can look at my back. Because often people are in this shape and they think they're straight and they're not. So if you have a mirror, use it. It's a really good guide to show you what you're doing. So from there, I'm going to send my head between my arms. Now you can relax the head, or you can slightly activate the neck so that the head is in line with the arms and the rest of the spine. So like I said, at first my knees are bent, because if I have tight hamstrings, what should happen to my back when I try and straighten my legs? So can you see how my back is now rounded as opposed to softening and lengthening? Okay? Also notice now, are your knees pulling in, or are your knees in line with your toes? So I'm still thinking of sending my heels to the floor, just without trying to straighten up through the legs. So the next thing you want to focus on, and I'm just going to make my legs wider so I've got a bit of balance in my hands, is you want to think of your armpits, so your elbow pits. So when you're in your downward dog, up. If you think of, you can see how I'm turning my arms, although my hands are flat on the floor. So when you're in your downward dog shape, if you pull your armpits to the front, so I have not bad flexibility or mobility into this part of the body. So what will happen when you're in your downward dog? The minute you start to do that, the shoulder blades will come under towards there. But for you, it might only be that you try and do that, but maybe the arm only goes that far. So it doesn't matter if you can't achieve that completely. It's just going to depend on all of the muscles there and the shoulders and everything. But that's the intention you want to have, is to try and keep your hands completely still, but the arm, the elbow pit is facing forward. And that's going to bring those shoulder blades down under the arms and really stabilize the top half of your body, rather than you bring in your downward dog and your shoulders are up around. So if I do it from, make sure that I'm in there, come from there, rather than having your downward dog there, you just soften the shoulders, elbows in, and we're in that position rather than up over there. Okay, so that is your shoulders, your spine, your tailbones to the ceiling, your knees are hip width. So when I'm teaching the downward dog, what I will often say to people is, there might be occasions when I say, right, we're going to work on the hamstring flexibility, we're going to work on calf flexibility, so now I do want you to straighten your legs, even if it means you come out of that nice long spine. But that is an intention for that particular time that I'm teaching the downward dog. I don't expect people to have that shape all the time. And my own personal view on that is, when you're 80 years old, are you really going to care if your hamstrings are that long, or are you going to care that your back is straight, that you have a good posture? So this is my reasoning behind it. So yes, we will send the heels down and straighten the legs, but then that is a particular aim of the time that I'm doing that. So it might be a hamstring session that I'm doing, and then we're going to focus on that. But generally, soften the knees. You can still send the heels to the floor, just keeping the knees soft, and that will allow that spine to lengthen, and you won't be in so much pain in your legs. So try not to think that you have to look like everything on social media. Appreciate that we all have different bodies, and what one posture looks like on one person is not the same as it's going to look like on the next person, and you work with your own body. So yes, I'm a teacher, yes I do yoga, still can't do the splits, and I doubt I'm ever going to, because I don't need to do the splits. I'm trying to keep my body mobile, flexible, pain-free, without tearing limbs out of my hips. Okay? So just honour the differences that you have in your body. So don't fight against it, you just have to work around it. So I hope that was helpful for your downward dogs. And traditionally, it's actually supposed to be a rest posture between when you're doing sun salutations. And I know when you first start yoga, it's like one breath, oh my God, I've got to come down. But you'll notice as your body gets stronger, especially in your shoulders and your upper body, you say, oh yeah, I can actually hold it. And it actually becomes a bit more easier to stay in that posture rather than fighting it. So keep practicing and practicing and practicing, because when your wrists, the strength in your wrists gets better, and your shoulders, you'll start to find that. I'll use the word pleasurable very loosely, but it becomes easier. So good luck, and let me know how that goes. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be posting more videos. So take care. Bye.